Hi, I'm Sherry. Welcome to my Vloggypod, which is just a little traditional podcast and a little vlog at the end of what I've been up to. I would normally say in the last week, but last time I did say I would be a week and it's been about 3. So, here in the UK, I live in the UK down on the south coast in Devon. Well, and it's been really hot, really hot. When I say hot, I know that there are some of you in some parts of the world who say they don't know what hot is. We don't really, but it's been hot for us. And then it's sunshine now, but it's been absolutely pouring down and quite cold. Now you see what you've just seen here is a typical Brit, because we all talk about the weather. And I think actually that's because we don't have very extreme weather. So I think what we do, it's not just cold or it's chilly or oh, it's rain, yeah, but it was heavy rain. Anyway, it's been very changing. I mean, it's that sunshine and showers which I don't like. And any Brit can talk about the weather for ages, and whoever you meet, it will always be part of the conversation. Anyway, it's been a really quite busy time actually. We've got the wild strawberries yarn, flower power yarn, out the door, and that was quite a mammoth task actually, because that was over 300 skeins alongside our normal sock clubs and other things. So thank you for your patience in getting those out. We've been working as fast as we could, and they have now left the building. And it's so lovely to see what you're making, not just with wild strawberries, with all of our yarn. And I'm going to put a couple of pictures in here. The first one is a shawl. I can't remember, I'm rubbish for names, but I'll put the names on the screen, that somebody used our wild strawberries for. And the second one, which is a cardigan, is a lady has used our Advent yarns from last year. And it just gives you such a thrill to see what you've been making. It's lovely. So thank you for that. And if you do ever buy any of our yarn and you show it on Instagram, if you could just hashtag Sherry Iris or Sherry Irish Yarn so that I can see it, because that's lovely. Makes my day. Quick note about the yarns actually. If I have been a bit behind with the dispatch notifications, and that's because we use something called drop and go, which means we literally have big parcel sacks that we drop off at the post office to minimise contact, but it does mean that although we have proof of postage that comes through, arms everywhere, that comes through on our computer, we also do have a paper copy of that. But very often I don't know what postage is until it's been processed. So if I give you dispatch notification also sometimes in the UK, sometimes I may not process it to the next day, but waffle. My point is that I will always try and refund postage. To the US, a skein would cost around £7. So if I see that you've got 2 or 3 orders, and some of them are on pre-order, then I will often hold your order back, because actually that means I could refund you £14. Well, probably wouldn't be 14 because two are £10, so maybe about something like £10. So that's worth having, and I don't know what that would be in dollars. I used to work in international banking actually, and I used to buy and sell currency, and I used to know my rates, and I would have known exactly what that was, but you haven't got a clue at the moment. But anyway, so there's that. I will always refund you postage. And the other thing is, it's taking so much longer at the moment. So typically a parcel to the States would take 5 to 7 days, working days. And some of them are getting there like that, but some of them are taking 3 or 4 weeks. And one epic parcel took 12 weeks to get to Canada. But it did turn up safely, and that means we've got a 100% record of never having lost a parcel. So by all means do contact me if your parcel is a bit late. We do have proof of postage for insurance, but unless you do a shipping upgrade, it isn't trackable. But I do offer shipping upgrades, international tracked and signed. that's the end of this postage segment. But I just needed to say that because I've been having lots of messages saying should I be worried? Don't be worried. It's taken a long time. So I have started, I've got a few things that I've been doing, just started. And I've started the stillness shawl. If you know me, I've literally, oh, sorry, that's my Monty treading on things, bless him. He's decided to move. He's getting quite elderly now and it takes him a little while to get up. And he's flopped down now. So I'm doing the Stillness Mystery Shawl, which is a knit along, which is Curious Handmade, Helen Stewart. Which I was really excited about doing. And this is, you can use, I can't remember the yarn, the first yarn, but I'm just using finger in weight yarn, 4-ply. So I won't show you what I've done because I don't want to spoil it. But I'm in the right tangle now, hold on. Bear with. This is my first colour. I love her patterns as well because it's a line by line pattern. So you just literally tick each line. So you can see what percentage you are through. Clue, I'm not even 5% yet. So I haven't got very far. So this is the yarn that I'm using, which is one we dyed up to go with. This is, sorry, let me show you. So I've got a conundrum about what I was going to choose. So this one is at the bottom of the garden. This is from our arts and crafts collection. This one will be in the shop this Friday, but it hasn't been. Yeah, I dyed it up and to go with this, and I thought, oh, that's really nice. So we put it in the shop. So I think I'm going to do it with that. I haven't caked it yet because I'm still umming and ahhing, and I'm just at the point now where I've got to use another colour. That, yeah, that's at the bottom of the garden. Yeah, it is. And I was going to put that with, what was I going to do? Oh, so yeah, I was going to, first of all, I was thinking of doing it with that. That's Lily. And then I thought about doing it with that. My husband said, but that looks very autumnal. And I said, well, it won't get finished till autumn anyway, because I'm so slow. But actually, I think I'm going to go with that. And this one is Chrysanthemum, which is also from the Arts and Crafts collection. Because I've seen other people do really quite bold colours, but I wouldn't wear it. I know I wouldn't wear it if I did that, even with this one. And I think these are probably too similar. They were sort of designed, all of the arts and crafts yarns that we do, not every single one, but often they're interchangeable because these are inspired by William Morris and the arts and crafts movement. And all of the colourways are like this. They're very gentle, sort of harmonious skeins, and they sort of will go together. What was I saying? I lost my track. Oh, I know, yes. So I think, sorry, that's my fridge. I think it will probably be better. Obviously, it's a mystery shawl, so I don't know. But I think it will be better in bolder colours, but that's what I'm going for because I know that that's what I will wear. So, watch this space. I'm on about 2% done. I'm going to really enjoy that. So that's that. Oh, my socks. Bit of a drama with my wild strawberry socks, and I was doing Lovely Kay Bakery Bears. I was doing her Village Fate. Well, I am doing her Village Fate sock pattern, and I dropped a stitch, and I, to be honest with you, had a bit of a temper tantrum, and I ended up just ripping the whole lot out. Couldn't then pick up the stitches, so pulled it all back, started again. I've now done about that much. So I'm just coming up to turning the heel. Lovely pattern. All of her patterns are just scrumptious. So there's that. And the other thing that I'm doing is a bit of English paper piecing. I was talking to Sharon, I'm going to get this right, who is SCR1TNO. And she was saying, she sent me a picture saying, look what I'm doing. She was just starting. She was starting one, a couple of weeks ago now. This is how far I've got in 2 weeks. She was just starting one, and I said, so am I. So what my plan is everyone's going to have a cushion on the table and chairs outside in the garden. Because often they'll be like, who's got this cushion? And that's my cushion. So we've all got our own cushions now out there. That's my plan. So they're going to be, I'm not going to do the whole thing, because that would take me till I'm 80. What I think I'm going to do is just do a little pattern, not a straight pattern, just maybe do that with it. And then put it onto a plain fabric. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's started. Oh, and I love doing that. So I used to do this a lot when I was younger. Yeah, so I'm enjoying that. And so they're all going to be different colours. So this one is all sort of like blues and obviously polka dot. And I've got another one with pinks, etc. And I'm keeping that and this, which is what my lovely daughter-in-law Amy, she got me a bouquet of flowers for Mother's Day last year, I think. Well, a little arrangement. It was in here, so I'm keeping it in there. It's ideal, actually. Yikes, epic waffle. Talking of applique, I wasn't talking about applique, I was thinking of applique. See the way my mind works. Some people were talking about the little pattern that I was showing on last week of the birdhouse. And I just wanted to show you some applique that I've been doing. So that was, somebody said, I'd love to do that, but it looks really complicated and fiddly. It is, but that's what I like. I quite like little bits of slow stitching. I really enjoy that. But this is a little bag, and this is what I've done for this. This is a lovely vintage fabric that I found. And what I've done is I've cut out, I've put it onto stabilizer, and then I've cut around, ironed it onto it, iron on, and then I've cut around it. But I've used, I'll try and put a close up in, if not, you just have to believe me. I've done that by machine. I did that one by machine. Teeny tiny stitches actually, so you can't really see it. But that's another, it's not finished. That's another type of applique. You can also have raw edge applique where it's deliberately, I don't know where my tea cozy is. I'll show you that in a minute. That's a little elephant with a raw edge applique. Hot and bothered, and my battery died. So I might be repeating myself, or indeed you may have heard nothing of what I said before, but I'm just going for it. So this is, I have an elephant obsession because I think they're the most beautiful creatures. This is one that I've made for myself. There was one point where I had quite a few little elephant bags in my shop actually, so I think quite a few of you share my love of them. And this one is, there are no rough edges on this one, and the machine stitch is clearly seen, meant to be seen. So, applique, which I wasn't talking about at all. To have a go. It's really, and honestly, it always looks really good. I've also been making some little glasses cases, which I used to do back in the day to make lots of those. Because I'm always losing my glasses, and I'm at the point where I need the whole hook around my neck thing. Anyway, what's the name of the lady I was talking to? She left a message on last YouTube video, and she was saying that she didn't know where to start with embroidery. She found the whole, so many of you started embroidery, which I'm so excited about, and loving it and not being frightened of it, which is the great thing. If you make a mistake on knitting, I'm lost. Make a mistake on embroidery, simple. And she didn't know really where to start. She found the whole thing quite overwhelming. So here's what I think. You don't have to use lots of colours. So this little book, which I've had for years, which is Zaka Embroidery. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a lovely book. Got quite a few of these books actually. by the same author. And what you can do on here, these are quite complicated embroideries. I'm not suggesting these are starter ones, but you can just do the one colour. And it could be white on black, it could be black, you can any colour combination you choose. But actually if you just stick to the one colour or two colours, so pick up an old pair of jeans, a pair of denim jeans, and pick, that's just white on yellow. And pick up, like I've said to you before, if you don't have embroidery thread, use sewing thread. And just pick up one colour. And if you repeat the design, or as I've said before, I've done cow parsley in black before, or as if it's a silhouette. So don't be put off with knowing where to start. Just have a go. I mean, like I said, these are quite, for a beginner, these are quite daunting. They're not hard at all, but they're daunting to look at, to imagine yourself doing. So have a go. Don't be put off, just choose whatever fabric you want. Or like I've said, embroider, just put a daisy just in one colour on a blouse or something. Have a go. So, and this time the camera overheated, which means my waffling must be on an epic proportion. It's a mirrorless camera and it just overheats. So it's literally been in the fridge for 2 minutes. So, I think I was saying that I was going to announce the winners of the giveaway. So my last Vloggypod, weeks ago now, I showed you two parcels that I got from a lovely lady called Barbara, who is now on Instagram. I'll put her name down below. She's just joined Instagram. Well done, Barbara. And yeah, she sent me two amazing parcels, so I thought I would share them. And I asked you, what do you watch or listen to while you're knitting? I'll tell you in a second what some of the things you said. But anyway, I did the random number thing, which you don't want to see me doing because I have to put my glasses on and it's not a pretty sight. Two winners. The first lady is Norma Patrick. And you said you like to listen to quite a few things, but you like to listen to Neil Diamond and Disney songs, you said. I love Disney songs. When our boys were young, we used to buy every Disney album, you know, every new movie track, and we would sing it. We knew word for word. And we still do on certain occasions. And the other lady is Kelly Larby. Have I written her name down right? Yeah. Who was saying that she likes to listen to a blackbird in her mulberry tree, which, how magical does that sound? I'm getting so hot. And so congratulations to both of you ladies. And if you send me an email, I'll put the email on the screen. And if you would like a skein of our yarn, and if you just let me know what sort of colourway you like, blues, greens, then I'm happy to do that too, add that in. Some of the things you said, one of the things that came up again and again and again was that you love to be in the garden listening to birds. That's the best, I think, for sure. Classical music, I don't listen to enough of that. And then so many so many people saying they like to watch vlogs and pods. And Rachel, so me, absolutely. But if you're sewing, you can't hear over the sewing machine, so you either have to keep pressing pause, or it's quite funny actually. I listened to Silas Marner and it took me about 2 weeks because I had to keep pressing pause. Anyway, some of the other things that you watched, Downton Abbey, you know, watching these things again. You've got Mal, in fact, what have I got here? Margaret and Deborah both called their dogs Brinkley. Monty was very nearly Brinkley. That's from the dog in You've Got Mal. Anne with an E, Darling Buds of May, Gilmore Girls, Friends, so many things. PD James on audiobooks. My friend Nikki introduced me to PD James. What else have I got here? Oh, Radio 4, yeah, as I've said before, which you don't have to pay for, that's great. And Deborah, Midsummer Murders. I could watch Midsummer Murders on a loop. So I'd love to know, actually, keeping the conversation going, what else you would recommend. There were some lovely recommendations on there that I've got written down, but yeah, that was lovely going through your comments. So Norma and Kelly, if you get in touch, and I will send you off your parcels. Is that at the end of my waffling? Oh, I was going to show you what I've been reading. So one of them's over there, which I'm hooked up, so I can't go and get it. But I bought a lovely new vegan cookbook, which I'll show you next month. So I've been reading, following the killing of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement that started in America, which has sort of sweeping across the planet. I thought the best thing that I needed to do, me personally, to move forward was to educate myself more. So I've studied, as part of my literature degree, I actually studied a module on the slave trade. So I have a knowledge, but I didn't have a good enough knowledge. And there are so many things that I know I need to educate myself better on. So I went on to Amazon and I had a look at embroidery, and so many were sold out, which means lots of people are having the same idea. So I have bought this one, which is Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, Rennie Edo Lodge. And that had great reviews as being really educational and illuminating. And I just feel that we're in a moment of time where we can literally change things. So that's where I'm starting from, which I'm really looking forward to reading. So there's that one. This one, which is A Garden Eden. Now I saw this, New Obsession. You know, if you're watching YouTube and it says if you like this, you like this. Mrs. Maisel, I've been watching Mrs. Maisel. Series 2. I digress. And it came up, if you like this, you like this. And it was was it Homes and Gardens or something like this? Something like that. And it was inside a beautiful home. And then it was if you like this, you like this. And it was Zara Home. And that was just a rabbit hole, which I needed hauling out of. And anyway, I saw this on Zara Home. It's actually £10 cheaper on Amazon. So I had to order myself. Look at this. Let me show. I can't really show you very well. Let me see if I can find. It's just plate after plate of just beautiful botanical illustrations. That's something I would love to be able to do. So, botanical collection colourways, here we come. That's definitely going to happen. And we've also got another very exciting collection of colourways coming, which I'll tell you about. We've actually made a little Patreon video. We're going to be launching our Patreon really soon. So many of you said that you were interested, which we're really excited about. And we're intending to put on there little chats that we have about how we come up with our colourways and our inspirations. And there'll be some artwork on there from Christopher, and some recipe cards which Christopher will be illustrating, and some tutorials. Well, I say tutorials, more sew-alongs really. All sorts of things that we're sort of currently putting on there ready for you. And talking about Patreon, Patreon is, I should say, so this will continue to be, my Vloggypod will continue, but there'll be more content on Patreon, and you can choose to pay an amount of money which gives you access to certain things. And I do that for Bakery Bears with Kay and Dan. Oh, and I could not recommend that enough. If you don't do that, it's so worth it. The content that you get, those two work so hard, so much on there. In fact, have I said this to you before? I know I told Dan this. My husband came in one day, and I was watching one of their one of the Bakery Bears podcasts where they go and they visit somewhere. And Dan was talking on there, and my husband came in and he said, "What are you watching?" I said, "Oh, it's Bakery Bears." And he said, no, I meant what's on TV. And I said, no, it's Bakery Bears. And he came up and he said, "Guys, that guy should be on the BBC." Let's Get Down on the BBC. If anyone knows, anyone works with the BBC, I just love listening to them, and they're just amazing. Anyway, yeah, I really recommend that. What was I saying? Why was I telling you about Patreon? No idea. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Another epic ramble. There's a little vlog at the end and a quiz. Oh, I'm really sorry I made the quiz too difficult last time. What it was, I put questions up that because I knew the answer to it, I thought everyone would know the answer to it. So I put another little quiz at the end. But well done, Suzanne, for getting 8 out of 10. That was amazing. Thank you for watching. So, welcome to my quiz. This is second one. Hopefully this one will be a little bit easier. I think I made last week's a bit too tough. So, obviously you can pause it if you want to. But, onwards. Question number 1. Who is fourth in line to the throne? By that I mean here in the United Kingdom. Who is fourth in line to the throne? Question number 2. As revealed in the film adaptation of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, what term do Americans use instead of muggle? Is it A, muggle? Is it B, nomad? Or is it C, norms? What term do Americans use instead of muggle? Question number 3. William Morris lived for a time in Bexley Heath, but what was the name of his house? Was it A, the Red House, B, the Montgomery Lodge, or C, Chalford Cottage? We've been so admiring William Morris and the whole arts and crafts movement. It's absolutely fascinating. Okay. Next question, number 4. Who wrote Winnie the Pooh? Who wrote Winnie the Pooh? Question number 5. What is the name of the cat in Breakfast at Tiffany's? One of my favourite films. Is it A, Marmaduke, B, Ginger, or C, Cat? Question number 6. What was the name of Henry VIII's second wife? I remember we had a rhyme for that. Divorced, beheaded, all that. So what was the name of Henry VIII's second wife? Next question. What is the currency of India? Question number 7. What is the currency of India? Question number 8. Alan Rickman. Oh, I so miss that man. Alan Rickman plays the character of Harry in Love Actually, but who plays his wife Karen? So what's the name of the actress of who plays his wife Karen in Love Actually? Next question. Question number 9. In Anne of Green Gables, what is the name of Anne's best friend? Is it A, Ruby, B, Jane, or C, Diana? Anne's best friend. And last question, number 10, has to be a Friends question. Paul Rudd plays Mike on Friends, but whose boyfriend was he? Was it Rachel, B, Phoebe, or C, Monica? And quite a few of you said you were going to start watching Friends or re-watching Friends, so. Answers. So who's fourth in line to the throne? It is Princess Charlotte. So it's Prince Charles, Prince William, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and then afterwards it's Prince Louis. Question number 2. The answer is B, nomad. Question number 3. The house where William Morris lived in Bexley Heath was the Red House. I believe he had the house built, and people like Rossetti visited. Could you imagine how amazing that would be to be able to be a fly on the wall? And also Kelmscott Manor in Oxfordshire. Yeah, that would have been amazing to actually be there and see them. Next question. Who wrote Winnie the Pooh? And the answer is A.A. Milne. He wrote the stories, I think, to explain life to his son. And we used to watch Winnie the Pooh, read and watch with our boys. And I can remember one of the honey ones. I wasn't going to eat it. I was just going to taste it. But he eats the whole lot. So many wonderful quotes in Winnie the Pooh. What is the name of the cat in Breakfast at Tiffany's? It is Cat. I think it's because she didn't think that it should be given a name because it was a wild creature. So the answer is C, Cat. What was the name of Henry VIII's second wife? And the answer is Anne Boleyn. Hever Castle, where her family lived, wasn't far from where we used to live actually. Fabulous place. What is the currency of India? And it is the Indian rupee. And I think it's 100 paces to a rupee. I'm a bit rusty on that, but I think that's right. Alan Rickman, dear Alan Rickman, plays the character of Harry in Love Actually, but who plays his wife Karen? It is Emma Thompson, another one of my favourite actresses. In Anne of Green Gables, what is the name of Anne's best friend? It is Diana. And lastly, Paul Rudd plays Mike on Friends, but whose boyfriend was he? And it was Phoebe. Hope you enjoyed the quiz. Hope you found it a little bit easier. Let me know in the comments what your score was and if there are some questions you would, like more of, or, that kind of thing. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching the Vloggypod, and see you next week.